All right. Welcome to another episode of the Hurricane Mike Show. We're Dad, the Falcons. They lead in the division, but do they know who they play next?
Who do you play?
They play the Washington Commanders. Are the Falcons winning?
No.
Because why?
They suck.
Man, they do be sucking now. Okay. So obviously we figured out that the Saints got eliminated yesterday after the Falcons did beat the Giants 34-7. So the Saints season is over before even playing against Green Bay. So Dad, I have a question. Do you want the Saints to try to spoil the Packers season, or do you want to root for the draft pick?
Well, I think at this point, I think we're pretty much locked in to this 10 position. I mean, I know the 49ers are sitting at 6 wins, but I think they may have another win or two in them. But yeah, so I'm definitely rooting for to be the spoiler.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm on that same boat as well. Cause it's not like the Saints have 2 wins. It's like, bro, you're 5-9. You know, obviously you don't have a chance to make playoffs, but we already knew that kind of. And everybody's like, we keep blaming the Giants for sucking and tanking on purpose, which ruined our season. But if you got to beat Washington last week, you had to beat them. Right, you had to get the 2-point conversion. If you get the 2-point conversion, we're not sitting here having this conversation, now are we? All right. I mean, yeah, we would still be 2 games behind them, but the Falcons, they don't have an easy road. Neither does Tampa, really, because Tampa just lost to Dallas. Could you imagine if we were 6-8? If we were 6-8, and Atlanta and Tampa only had 8 wins because Tampa would have lost, and Atlanta, if they lose out, the Saints are not having this conversation. All right. Hey, Connor. See you for the game. But, yeah, the Saints they didn't want – I have a feeling if we would have fired Dennis Allen way before we did, Saints maybe are not eliminated by now. But that's all you can really expect with this team. But, Dad, do you want Jake Haener to get another shot in New Orleans?
I don't know. I mean, that wouldn't be good news for New Orleans. I mean, let's just be honest right now. That wouldn't be good news if he was, counted on to play some games next year. That wouldn't be good for us.
Dad, you want to know my answer?
What's that?
No to the power of infinity. Bro, this dude is trash, man. Before the season, everybody was like, who should get the backup role, Rattler or Haener? And knowing Dennis Allen, he was never making that decision. But people were like everybody was on the Rattler train, including me, and I was like, yes, we need Rattler to play when Derek Carr's not playing. Because what Jake Haener, what he was doing last week proved why. This man has been with this team for 2 years, and yet he plays like he's a 3rd grader. You had to teach him like he was a baby. Okay, Jake Haener said, what you're going to do, you're going to say hut, and then you're going to throw it to him. It's like when you learn how to play Madden. Idiot. So, anyways, hold on. All right. So, if I can find this thing. All right. So, Dad, I have a question. Well, So, I'm going to read some tweets now, and I'm going to let you, depending on what the tweet says, we're going to go from. So, someone named Michael said the secondary figures to be Eric Stokes and Carrington Valentine outside. Keyshawn Nixon in the slide, and this is the Packers secondary. and Xavier McKinney and Zane Anderson at safety. I wouldn't want to start this group on Sunday in Minnesota, but the defense should be fine. Should be just fine tonight. So, do you think the Saints can take advantage of the Packers' defense?
I was just about to say who those guys are because I don't recognize any of them. I'm not afraid of any of them. So I think the Saints can exploit them. But if we had some guys to exploit them with, I mean, we're gonna get into this injury report soon, but I don't know who we got playing in the game actually.
So you don't know the inactives?
I think I have an idea. I haven't seen them today. But
All
right. Kamara's out.
Yeah. Well, the secondary, I know some of these guys. So Eric Stokes was a former first-round pick that didn't really live up to the hype. Carrington Valentine, he's a solid dude. Keyshawn Nixon's more in the punt return game, but he's starting in the slot today, so we're gonna see. Xavier McKinney, I'm sure everybody knows he I think is leading the league in interceptions. And Zane Anderson, he's just fast. That's all he really does. But yeah, in fact, let's actually go over these inactives because I actually saw a name from the Packers that makes me want to scream happiness on the inside. If we look at the Saints Packers inactives for Week 16, obviously last time they played was Week 3 of last season when the Saints fell short 18-17 when Packers came back down 17-0, which was bullcrap. So these are the inactives for the Saints. Derek Carr, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Alvin Kamara, Nathan Shepard, and Christian Boyd. So we're going to have no MVS. We knew we weren't going to have Carr. We knew we weren't going to have Kamara. Shepard and Boyd are kind of interesting because, our defensive tackles are thin right now. But, yeah, the Packers, though, they're not that much healthier for today. As their inactives, they got Quay Walker, Malik Heath, Javon Bullard, Jair Alexander is the main one, Evan Williams, Jacob Monk. So, Evan Williams, I know he's a rookie, so he's not playing today. Javon Bullard, I think, is also a rookie, so he's not playing today. Malik Heath is just one of those depth receivers. Quay Walker, I think, was also a former first-round pick. I think he's just known for pushing people down. Jacob Monk, I'm not going to lie. He's an offensive lineman, so I don't know who that is. But Jair Alexander, this is interesting. So another tweet that I'm about to get to. Another week, another game Jair Alexander watches. That's 32 of the last 66 he's missed. So that's why Eric Stokes and Carrington Valentine's on the outside, because that would have been, I think, Eric Stokes and Jair. So then I have a question. How confident are you in the Saints to exploit the outside, knowing that Jair Alexander is not there, but also because we don't have MVS tonight? Or Bub Means. Or Chris Olave. Or Shichi.
Doesn't make me very confident at all. I mean, we do have Juwan Johnson playing, right?
Yeah, I think he's playing.
I think from the start of the season, he's probably the only starter that is playing tonight that started the season, that was supposed to be in our starting lineup. The only starting skill player anyway. Quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, running backs. He's the only starter.
Juwan Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're starting Spencer Rattler. He wasn't the starter. Our number one running back today is, I think, Kendre Miller. He was hurt, but he wasn't going to start anyway. Our number one receiver was supposed to be Chris Olave. Our starting two receivers was supposed to be Olave and Shaheed. They're not playing. The MVS wasn't even on this team when the season started. And tight ends, Juwan Johnson, he's still reliable, which is why a lot of people are on the hate Juwan Johnson train. You know where this team would be if we didn't have Juwan Johnson? We would have 2 wins. We don't beat the Giants. We don't. Who scored that touchdown? Oh, Juwan Johnson did? I bet. You don't beat the Giants. You can argue you don't beat the Falcons because like Juwan Johnson was a main contributor in that game, and the Browns. Maybe we beat the Browns.
Don't forget Taysom Hill. He's out too.
Well, yeah, we already knew that.
Our Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I mean he might be out for the rest of his career.
Talking about at the beginning of the season when you penciling in all the starters and all, we got one freaking guy. One guy starting. I mean, other than the offensive line, which, I'm talking about skill players.
Yeah. However, Jordan Love, he is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. But here's an interesting stat. So he was intercepted 3 times when blitzed in his first 3 games this season. He's been picked off on such a pass just twice. So earlier this season, by the way, I did get confirmation. The Packers, they do clinch a playoff berth with the win. And they're also favored by 2 touchdowns. You know how ridiculous that is?
In NFL, that's ridiculous, yes.
How an NFL team can be favored by 2 whole touchdowns in a freaking NFL game. That's crazy. I've seen that, but I've never really seen it to that extent. Like, I've seen 12-point favorites, 11-point favorites, but 14? You know how much points is 14? That is 2 touchdowns, man. So I have a question. So what defensive coverage do you think we're going to have to play tonight if we're going to confuse Jordan Love?
Just play good, sound coverage. I mean, he's still a young quarterback. He hasn't seen everything yet. So just mix it up, get physical with those receivers, and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm watching Jordan Love right now. Jordan Love, I would say he's a quick thrower. Okay, so if you can mix up the packages, like if you can like maybe rush, like if you can like, all right, let me put it to you this way: if you can put 5 guys on the line and then have 2 of them drop back half the time, and then another play you rush them all, I think the Saints have a good shot. I know it kind of sounds confusing from how I'm describing it, but just look at it this way, right? If you're basically a second-year quarterback, okay? Because like he didn't play his first 4 years, so basically you're basically a younger quarterback in the NFL. So if you see a coverage and you see the same coverage back to back, well, not back to back, but you know what I'm trying to say. What are you gonna think? So I'm just saying. So I think the Saints they gotta combine coverages, if you know what I'm saying. But now let's get to this. So the Packers are down 4 preferred starters on defense. They're down Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Javon Bullard, and Evan Williams. The Saints offense versus Packers defense could be an interesting one. Now, Dad, how interesting do you think? How about this? I know this has nothing to do with Rizzy, but where would you stand on the Darren Rizzy head coaching hype if he's able to beat the Packers in Lambeau?
You mean for the Saints next year, being head coach?
Yeah.
No. You're definitely looking outside the company. You're looking at, somebody with already experience, somebody that could develop players. I'm not on the Rizzy train right now. I don't think he can do anything to get you on that train. I mean, we're gonna miss the playoffs for one. So yeah, we're definitely hiring a new coach next year.
Dad, you know what I just saw?
What?
The Saints have 4 active receivers tonight.
Wonderful.
Do you know who those 4 receivers are?
Probably 2 of them. I don't even know their names. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, you might know. Kevin Austin, Mason Tipton, Cedric Wilson Jr., Dante Pettis.
Okay, so you have 2 special teams players in there, and 1 undrafted rookie, and the other, is just meh. But yeah, so we're gonna score about 11 points tonight.
Dad, I'm gonna say this right now. What team do you think was worse when it comes to injuries? The 2021 Saints or the 2024 Saints? If you know the 2021 Saints, they were bad when it came to injuries. They were like, I think, the most injured team of all time. And I'm not being over dramatic. I think that's actually a stat.
I can't remember the 21 Saints, but can't imagine it being too bad than this. We had
Kevin White was a receiver.
Okay, well, we have 3 receivers out, our top 3 receivers, a quarterback out, a running back out, might have 2 running backs out. You know, that's a lot of. I mean, how can you score when all those people are out? I have no idea.
Yeah, I will say this though. This year was worse because at least in 2021, it took us, even though we were so injured, we had a good coaching staff to the point where we were able to get all the way to the finish line. Like, we were able to get to week 18. Here, we're eliminated with 3 more games to go. Like, that's just crazy. Man, like, Kevin Austin is your number 1 wide receiver. Dad, last year, I didn't know there was a Kevin Austin. That sounds like the name of an actor from a Hollywood movie.
That's
Kevin Austin.
But all right.
What?
That's Kevin Costner, but okay.
No, I'm just saying, if there was a Kevin Austin, I would have expected that boy to be like an actor. But yeah. However, someone said if the Packers lose tonight, they should fold their franchise. I don't know if he actually meant fold or sold, but I'm just gonna say sold because that makes more sense. That if the Packers lose tonight, how bad do you think they should take this?
That'd be a bad loss. That'd be like playing a team that, everybody's sitting out. Everybody's load management. Everybody's not playing. So I don't know. You could look at it like that, or you could look at it like, okay, the Saints are who the Saints were, and we just didn't, prepare right. We didn't, take them seriously at all. I mean, they could say that.
Yeah, they could. But yeah, man, they don't have the Packers don't have their starting safeties. They don't have Jair. So I won't be shocked if the Saints can score some points. But will they though? That's the thing. But anyways, where else do we gotta go from here? Dad, what do you think is gonna be the main takeaway if we end up winning this game? What do you think the Saints are gonna have to do right?
Well, you said the right word there. Take away. We got to take away the ball a couple times, and we got to protect the ball. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like in Green Bay tonight. I don't know if it's gonna be rainy, windy, or snowy, but we're definitely gonna have to run the ball and gonna have to guard against turnovers.
Yeah. However, did you see the Saints sign last week?
They signed somebody last week.
Who? Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Did they really?
Yep. You remember him?
Yeah.
You remember him? Yeah, you remember him, man?
Mm-hmm.
First round pick to the Chiefs in the first round. So Dad, I don't know. I think he might be active. Hold on, let me see if Clyde is active today. Either he's like, I don't know why you would send unless he just doesn't know the running back. All right, so yeah, he's not playing today. Okay, I was gonna ask how much he would play. Okay, well, I will say this. Oh, and apparently the Saints are actually high on him in the 2020 draft. Then why did you draft Cesar Ruiz instead? Yeah. Anyways, also speaking of that, my aunt actually talked to Peyton Turner before.
Your aunt?
Yeah.
Aunt
she told me that. What?
Aunt who?
I ain't saying no names.
Name drop. That's what we do on the Mike show. The Michael the Hurricane show.
All right. Well, my Aunt Sharon, right? She apparently talked to Peyton Turner, and she told me that this morning, and I was like, you should have told him that he was trash.
Yeah, what they talking about? I mean, if it's not about him being trash, I mean, what else you got to say to him?
I mean, she didn't know who he was. That's the thing. So,
Uh,
but yeah. Anyways, so that is there anything else you got for this game upcoming?
Nah, we good. I'm just ready to go watch this thing. See how we stack
Yeah.
up on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sorry this was a shorter show than usual. It's just that, I'm trying to get my phone 100% charged by 7:15 so I can stream the game and hopefully not die during it. But anyways, yeah, you can like, subscribe, share, turn the bell on, it's not upload. But where can they find you, first of all?
On Warren Newby's YouTube channel and on the Hurricane Mike Show every week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And tomorrow, what we're probably going to do, we're probably going to recap the Saints game and go over what happened this week. All right, y'all? So I'm just letting you know. We're going to probably take maybe 30 minutes to talk about Saints game, and the rest, we're going to talk about the rest of the NFL. So, anyways, like, subscribe, share, turn the bell to them so their upload. That. But I think there's something else. So, what do I want to say? Oh! Don't be a what?
Don't be a Falcon fan.
Don't be them fans, man. They suck.